Welcome everyone to the end of the beginning channel. I just wanted to cover an article out there that I saw. I saw a couple of articles about being positive. I often get told that positivity makes the world go round, and people like me, who obviously, as you know, I'm extremely positive. If you haven't seen my content before, I recommend you watch some of my videos. I'm a very positive person. I see all the good in the world, all the wonderful people in the world, and I think you should too. So I came across a couple of articles. I just wanted to give you some bullet points about how to stay optimistic and positive in the face of the apocalypse. So if you're out there and you're feeling a little bit down with everything going on with the climate, maybe everything going on in over in the Middle East, these are things that you could do to stay positive. So number one on the list of how you could stay positive in the face of the apocalypse is to put the kettle on. That's right. The quintessentially British response of putting the kettle on in troubled times might seem like a quaint notion, but the naturally calming effects of tea, which is shown to lower levels of stress hormone, cortisol, makes it a sage place to start. Sage, get it? Sage instead of safe. Sage is in witches. So, that's great, right? So, when the grid is off and everybody's trying to find food, et cetera, just figure out how to put the kettle on. Oh, right, you won't be able to because there'll be no electricity, right? But again, I love it there's articles like this because people aren't questioning why they're feeling a lot of anxiety, right? Obviously, they could look to the closest tower outside their window, or they could just look at the healthy diet of their media that they're digesting, which of course is number two, manage your media diet. Right? So it says temptation to doom scroll through social media or watch rolling news may be strong in times of crisis, but it's best avoided. The link between such behavior and poor mental health has been proven by studies. And that's not to say don't engage. It's important to know what's going on, but limiting news consumption rather than gorging on it all day is advisable. So that's very interesting, right? I would say the best advice would be to shut it all off. Because see, if you shut it all off, then suddenly you don't know about any stuff going on in the world because most of the things they're telling you that are going on aren't really going on. It's all in your head. It's all psychosis, right? All these things they tell you, they're building this illusion inside of your mind, making it so you're afraid to leave your house. Now, why would they ever do that? Because your home's already your prison cell. Just look at the technology in there that they're listening to you on and watching you on, right? So pretty amazing. They say manage your media diet, but not eliminate it. That's because, as the article says, they want you to limit news consumption, but it's important to know what's going on, as if, of course, the media tells you what's going on. Meanwhile, who's causing the anxiety? Who's causing it all? Not just all those waves in the atmosphere that are hitting us, whether it's getting dumped on us from the sky or coming out of those towers, but, all the stuff they're doing to cause division. Yeah, pretty amazing. So number three, take positive action. In the face of bad news, there's a lot of it. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. So a trauma expert suggests focusing on positive action, you could take a break out of the negative action. So it's almost like your good deeds outweigh your bad deeds. So this person says, even if it's a small thing, do something rather than just taking in all the bad news and feeling more and more abolished by it all. They say cognitive behavior therapist Navi Schrader agrees worrying is a thought process which could quickly spin out of control, right? So everything on the news is pretty much creating this psychosis, but they're trying to coach you through it. So while the media is telling you that everybody hates one another, that you should silence people and cancel people, go outside, plant a few seeds and grow something in your garden. Do something. Oh, wait, you can't do that. You can't grow anything in your garden. Why? Well, if you've noticed, a lot of people are having trouble growing their crops. Why? Well, take a look at the dust up in the sky, or maybe you haven't seen the sun very often because there's a haze every single day, or maybe it's because the soil's not rich anymore because they've swapped it out and made you use things like Monsanto. Anyway, try to find something positive. Number four, breathe deeply. Just take a deep breath while your own government's detonating buildings around you. Number five, activate your brain for aha solutions, whatever that means. Well, let's read what it means. Marilyn Devonish overcame depression to become a certified coach and therapist and has 21 years experience working in the trauma field. Continual bad news almost tipped me over the edge. So doesn't that sum up everything going on in the world? Right? All the news and all the media does is make up that the civilians are hating one another and people are bad, everybody's doing this, doing that, when they're the ones who are causing all this stuff, right? Then on top of it, they're saying continual bad news tipped you over. So they're telling you to also just ignore right? Ignore any of the stuff in your life and pretend, kind of like what's exactly happening, right? Well, the media is pumping all this stuff out, gaslighting everybody. People are getting agitated about it. And then instead of doing action, which would be like shutting off the news networks, they want you to just ignore it and think that it's your own fault or my fault or perhaps your fault, the listener. So, number 6, mindfulness over matter. Of course, mind over matter, right? I love they tell you these types of things. Like, then when it comes to other stuff, they're like, oh, just to ignore it, avoid it. But when it's content that's detrimental to the system, to the global system, to the communist system, well, they won't tell you to ignore it. They'll tell you to cancel it, that they need to be in prison, that it's misinformation, right? But when it comes to this other stuff, they're like, oh, yeah, just ignore it. But no, not people like me and you. So mindfulness over matter. Number 7, sleep on it. I'll wrap it up here. Number 8, shake it out. Number 9, prepare for aftershock. And number 10, talk about it. Well, I don't know if they'll let you talk about it because clearly if you're pointing out what's really going on, you're not allowed to talk about it. In fact, you'll have channels canceled. You'll have your social media canceled if you actually say what the root of it is. Not sugarcoat it like this where they're saying, well, are you feeling depressed? Right? If you actually explain to people why this is happening to them, maybe the radiation exposure to the device that's in their hands 24/7, that's held up against their head 24/7, those EMFs that are coming out of every device in their home. Maybe we could start there. Oh, that's misinformation, of course. They want you to think that all this stuff is really just in your head. Or you could just start by telling everybody about how the media and the government are working together to divide everybody against one another. But that's also not something they want you to do. So just be positive. When the world's blowing up around us, of course, I'm not referring to the actual apocalypse and the return of our king. I'm talking more like the sabotage being done right now. So they're telling you in the face of the because again, in the face of the apocalypse, I think we're all pretty excited. We're on the winning team. I mean, we all have free will and we all chose the winning team. A lot of people out there choosing the losing team, which is Satan's team. So none of us have anxiety about that. Now, as for the sabotage stuff that's going on, well, in the face of it, they just want you to ignore it. In the face of it, they want you to think positively while they're coming into your home and taking your wife and your children and, of course, starving you to death. So just stay positive while we take all your food away. Don't be suspicious why you can't grow any food anymore. Don't be suspicious why your power's off 24/7 now and we give you a little bit of an hour of allowance to take a shower once a week. Do not be suspicious and think in any way, shape, or form that it's like being a prisoner in a jail cell. Oh, wait, it is. It's the same exact thing. So, welcome to 2024, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, I brought you some positive news today. I know a lot of people out there want positive news. So, I hope some of these tips will help you out. Maybe some of you out there heard this and you're going to put the kettle on. Yeah, put on the kettle. Right? Maybe dump a little graphene in there, and drink it up. Mix it up with some of the other people who've already mixed up some of that inside their body. So, positive news here today. From positivenews.com and Positive News This and positive.this.org.net. So, these are all the websites I'm looking at right now. Staying optimistic in the face of the apocalypse. Yay, don't worry, be happy. People, for no reason whatsoever, the world around us is being destroyed by wicked, evil people. But let's just all think that we need to stay optimistic in the face of this when people are deliberately doing it to us. And we should be stopping them from doing it. But instead of stopping them, let's all put the kettle on. How's that sound, huh? Oh, man, my head's going to explode. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. Bye, everybody.